Yo, welcome to End Zone Emcees. It's your boy Hamilton James.
And your boy Young Yan You in the building.
Back again with some more hip hop topics for y'all. You know, we do the football, but we keep it to the hip hop as well. That's the MCs part of End Zone MCs. So let's get it.
Absolutely.
And we're going to talk about today, we're just going to do a testimonial. You know, I know there's a lot of upcoming artists out there that,
Hmm.
that you and I both know.
Yep.
People always ask me, yo, Ham, how do you do certain things? Or Ham, what are some tips that I can do to get my music going? Or Ham, like, what are some things that you've been through? How do you keep going? How do you, stay positive? And how do you, hope for a better tomorrow? So I just wanted to kind of just, speak a little bit for a few minutes and kind of share some of our own stories of how we've overcome a certain struggle or a hardship while we've been doing music. And yeah, bro, go ahead.
All right, so this goes back to when I actually just first started dropping some of my first songs with this one guy I used to work with and be friends with since elementary school.
Mm,
He would do music with me too, and then long story short, he just wasn't real. He was fake. He was. I got a big
mm,
opportunity to work with some like big name guy in my eyes at the time, and he didn't even smile, and he was like, "Congrats, man! That's awesome. That's pretty crazy."
the
Like
energy said
that.
it all.
Yep, exactly. Yep, and I did that to test him. I did that to test him. I had him over that day, and the next day I told him like, hey, I was kind of disappointed, yada yada yada. Yeah, can I just get an apology and we'll move on from it? And then we'd move on. I'd accept it if he just apologized, but he didn't. And then one thing led to another, and that was it. So just surround yourself with the right amount of people, man. That will honestly like just drive you to like step in the right direction and like just build motivation within yourself, man. So that honestly matters a lot more than most people think.
Yeah, man, that's it's very interesting actually. I was at the studio a couple of days ago working on our fire ass song, by the way, and
Sir.
I was just sharing some of those sentiments that you just shared with the engineer, and it's just amazing when you get around the right people, bro. And
Mm-hmm.
what the right people do for your spirit, what the right people do for your energy, what the right people do for your music, your talent, your artistry. Being around the right people is so important. I'm gonna share a story as well. That was you and your boy. Well, imagine multiply that by 4 or 5 boys. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like you said, elementary school. I know my boys my boys at the time since high school. We played basketball together. They started making music. You know, they were making music in high school. I was supporting it. Um, I honestly started making music really just because I wanted to still kick it with my homies. I really never had any real dreams of being a huge star or stuff like that, especially in my early 20s and late teens. I just wanted to kick it with my homies, and that's what my homies were doing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I started making music myself, and I was part of the group and whatever. Well, I made a project, and there were different artists on the group, or different artists that were from the group that were on the project, and to this day, they still haven't even reposted the project, let alone the songs that they were on the project.
Man.
The songs that they were on, they didn't even bother to repost or nothing like that. So of course I'm gonna feel some type of way, right?
Mm-hmm.
These are people that I was on, jumping up and down on stage for. I mean, I was damn near acting like Diddy. Like, they would be rapping on stage, and I'm the one trying to get them hyped because all of their music was chill and intellectual, which trying to make that type of music at 19 years old, in my opinion, was not good at all. Was not a good idea. Should have been making party music, hype music. So their friend Ham would get on stage and get the crowd hype. But so I felt some type of way about that. I
I'm
felt some type
sure.
of way about that for sure. And I went to them all individually, one by one, and I was like, you know what, man, I don't want to be in the group no more. I don't want to be in the group. And and ever since then I've been doing bad all on my own. And then 2 years later, I create Value on a Wave, and I start doing stuff and start branching out and just getting my name out there, and the music's getting better and stuff like that. And it's like now from that group of people who was rapping, that there's only 1 or 2 people left from that group. So it's what it told me was half those cats in there weren't even serious, and it was all
Yep.
ego. You know what I'm saying? It was all ego. And once I started doing stuff for myself, you could tell that there was the jealousy was there because there was never real any support. I'm like, why is it that like when I would go to your shows, I'll be dancing and jumping up on stage for you, getting hyped for you, but when I throw a show, you don't show up, and if you do show up, you're just sitting in the back, just nodding your head, if you even nodding your head. But you're supposed to be my boy. What? You know what I'm saying? So once again, you get around the right people, they make you feel so much better about yourself. And I just want to tell artists out there because it's part of the growing pains. You have to be around grimy MFers. You know what I'm saying? You have to be around jealous MFers. You have to be around people who don't really value you. You have to be around that so you can understand what it is you can understand that. And when you're around good people, you can understand that. I didn't know what it was to be around shitty people until I was around good people. And then I was like, oh, you guys were treating me like shit this whole time. F you guys. I don't need you guys no more. I don't want to be around you
Yep.
guys. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
that's what I definitely want to share to artists because it can get lonely. It can get lonely doing music by yourself.
Very.
Like nobody's on your side. And it's like, bro, honestly, I would rather be lonely than be around people who don't even like me.
I'm totally with that, bro. Like honestly, it's the little things that really matter, man. You gotta just keep your eyes and ears open for that stuff,
You
and
know, head on a swivel.
yep, head on the swivel. That's what I always have, man. Everywhere I go, man. Every person I'm around, like, I was crushed. I was disappointed. My homie back then in school, like your situation,
That was my
there's a
boys. Those was my
huge
brothers.
letdown.
I thought that was my brothers. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I know these people since we
Mm-hmm.
was 14, 15 years old. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I
Huge
felt
letdown.
I was definitely let down by that. But at the same
Totally.
time, it opened my eyes, man. I we wasn't boys and we ain't do all this stuff together in these last few years and stuff like that. So I've been through it a couple times, but like you gotta navigate through the BS, and that's just what makes the journey sweeter, man.
Keep your head high, guys. Don't let
And
that
on that
shit take you
swivel,
down.
right to left on that swivel.
Yep. Yep. Yeah.
Well,
Sorry.
oh, you got more?
Okay.
I'm
It's
sorry, no, I
tough.
didn't. Yeah,
It's tough, man. It's really tough, and it's just it's crazy how much of an how much of an ego a person can have that can just totally diminish their character that I thought originally they were, and it's just like one thing leads to another, and it's just like, bro, it all goes south. Like in my situation, like my guy was always unprepared, and like excuse me, in the studio, I'd be like rapping some of his lyrics. When we finish a song, he
oh,
wouldn't do
wow.
that to one of my words for me. It's like like I said earlier, it's the little things. So like it adds up, and then once like that, like once I that one situation I told you about earlier, once that happened, I was like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. For
So
me,
like,
I think it was that these guys thought, like I'm gonna say, I think these guys thought I sucked and thought I wasn't good at making music. But
mhm.
then I'm like, why? If you guys felt like you guys were better, or you guys, have been doing it longer, you guys knew more. Why not teach me if we were supposed to be in the same group? Why not break things
Exactly.
down to me? I have had people legit. I've had people, artists I've worked with, and they've broken down stuff to me, and we've only worked maybe once or twice, and it like locked and clicked in more than I ever worked with them. And
Yep.
they never really taught me nothing.
I'm the
So
same way, bro.
you know what I mean? And so
Hmm.
like again, bro, like it's just being around the right people.
Hmm.
Being around the right people goes so far. And I just think that a lot of the times when people are trying to do big things in life, they're just not around the right people, and that's why things tend to kind of don't go their way sometimes, or
Yep.
they feel like it's not happening for them. It's because you're not around the right people. You're not around people who are hungry. You're speaking about your boy and how your boy didn't, wasn't prepared. I feel like these cats, they weren't real leaders.
Nope.
There was no real leadership. And the
That
thing
guy
was,
I used to work with, he doesn't do music anymore.
oh, see, no real leadership. Yeah, half
Yeah,
the cats I used to work with don't even do music no more. So
there
what
it is.
that tells me was that there were posers who just wanted to be cool
Yep,
for the moment. Because
they're posers. Yep.
when you're like 19, 20, 21, it's cool to rap. Well, when you're 20, 26, 27, 28, and you really got to put in the work. Oh, now like half these cats, I'm telling you, half these cats my age, they ain't like, bro, like they don't, like
Ain't
they're
about
all
it.
other stuff. They ain't about it, man. And I was
Mhm.
always about it, and it shows. It just shows. And,
Hell yeah.
and that's not to talk smack or nothing. That's just the truth. I mean, half the cats that wouldn't give me the time of day, I don't even make music no more. And then the other half, like, truth be told, like I'm not bagging on their music, but they're so one dimensional with their sound it's like, man, I'm so versatile. Like I'm not. You just can't. It's just not comparable. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? So that's what's happened. I put in the work. Like I watch dudes get with girlfriends. I watch dudes BS and be lazy. I watch all kind of stuff. You know, I watch dudes just allow life to get in the way, and I'm still out here clawing, fighting, and making it happen. So my mentality's completely changed, and even how I look at them has changed. Because now I'm like, if anything, they were holding me back.
Totally. I feel the same way with my situation, man. And going back to like what you said earlier about not having a big passion for music, like during like I think it was high school. You mentioned. I was the same way, dude. I was focused on sport. I was nowhere near the
Yeah, I
music
was free.
realm.
I would like freestyle with the homies or something like
Yeah,
that. You know what I
exactly.
mean? I had
Yeah.
made, like because the homies recorded, so maybe I made my own little song. But like I wasn't like for example, my boy like my old homies like they were like I'm rappers. Like I'm a rapper. We are rappers. Like this is what we're trying to do. They've been rapping since like we were in the 10th grade. That was a long time ago now. You know, and there's a reason why they're not on. And I'm just gonna say it, like you, how do you been rapping since you were 15, 16 years old? You 28, 29 years old right now, you not on because you ain't no real leader.
Yep.
And I've seen it happen with my own eyes. I seen it. We would sit there in meetings, and you would have people too timid to sit there, and the people who created the group too timid to actually make something happen. Too timid, too scary, too pussy to actually be like, yo, no, this is how it needs to be done. And then when I would try to say something, because I wasn't the leader of the group, because I didn't create the group, people weren't respecting me. They weren't taking me serious. But I was saying stuff that would I was selfless. For example, I would say stuff like, one of our boys, right, who was really talented, and I think that he actually had at that time the look, the sound, the appeal. I told everybody, I was like, we need to stop what we're doing, and we need to seriously just push him for at least like the next year. You know how many grim faces? You know how many looks I got like that?
Man, a lot.
And I wasn't even talking about myself. I was talking about doing it for somebody else that was on the team. Because everybody wants to be Kobe, bro. Nobody wants to be D-Fish. Nobody wants to be Andrew Bynum. Nobody wants to be Gasol. Nobody wants to be Odom. Everybody wants to be Kobe and Shaq. Well, not everyone can be Kobe and Shaq. They can't.
Yep.
You got to have the moxie. And they didn't have the moxie for that. And so it's just like now in retrospect, I'm just like, of course, like I see why they are where they're at, and I am where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? Like, and without handouts, I didn't have to co-sign or have to ask nobody for a handout or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, ain't nobody funding me and all this extra stuff. I do this all on my own. I built something all on my own. You know what I'm saying? So it's different. Like, I'm looking at them kind of like, you know, I see their stuff every now and then. And I'm like, all right, that's cool, but I'm a boss. You know, they ain't no you. When somebody put the money in your pocket, you ain't a boss. You know what I mean? But when you put your own money in your pocket, or better yet, when you paying the DJ, when you paying the video guy, when you paying models to come through, when the venue writes you a check or gives you a check that has cash in it, that's when you become the boss.
Yes, sir.
And now like I'm not trying to be cocky, but that's the reality. That's when you become the boss. So if you're a music artist and the stuff I just listed, you ain't done, you're not a boss. I'm sorry. You're not. You're not there yet.
Simple.
And I don't mean you can't be one. It's just you're not a boss yet. Because again, bosses make stuff happen. Bosses aren't the ones that go and get the money put into their pocket.
Take action.
The boss is the one that takes the money out their pocket and gives it to everybody else.
Yep.
And I do it all by myself. You know what I'm saying? I fund everything by myself. So like that's why I'm like, I know I'm a boss and can't nobody take that from me. And sure, I ain't the biggest boss that we've seen thus far, like Ross. But hey, but you know what? Can't nobody say I'm not a boss in my city. I'll take that.
Simple, bro. Simple. So, moral of the story, guys: don't let anyone discourage you from what you want to do.
Be around the right people. Be around the right people. That's the moral of the story. And with that being said, man, thank you for paying attention. Thank you for always listening. Thank you for watching. My name is Hamilton James. You can find me on Instagram at Hennessy Ham, TikTok at 818 Hammy. Find me on all music platforms, Hamilton James. Shout out my boy Nemo Wood. We have this new song called The Burbs. The music video is out now. Thank you, bro. The music video is out now. It's doing some numbers. So just thank you for everyone who's watching and listening, and we gonna keep on going, baby.
Hell yeah, go stream The Burbs right now, man. That's just different, man. Very chill, reggae vibes right there, man. It's awesome. Love that shit, bro. Video's amazing, by the way, man. Good job.
Thank you.
Find your boy Young and Yo on all platforms like my name down below. And Instagram's YUNG_N.U as always. We are your hosts for Unzone MCs. Thank you for tuning in. We will see y'all again later. Peace
Later.
out.